Hey booth builders, so today I am actually going to do the door and I'm really nervous about this for some reason. I think it's because I just actually really feel like I don't know what I'm doing. I've got to chisel some bits of wood out of the door and also out of the other framing. A bit nervous about that, and I don't know, it's just, I want it to sit straight and work properly, and I'm just a bit nervous. Anyway, got to be done. So I'm going to get on and do it. So I'm going to take this framing out that I put in yesterday. Just have to undo the, the bolts that I put in there yesterday. You might notice actually what I did this morning is I counterbored these holes because the base plate there was actually bowed like this because it needed a bolt in the middle. So I had to put a bolt in the middle. So I did that. And that's why I counterbored it, because obviously the door is going to go over that, so it's not going to act as a doorstop, is it? So that's done. Yeah, so now I'm just setting up a space in the lounge to actually build the frame. So I'm going to crack on and do it, and I'll show you what I can along the way. All right, so let's do it, booth builders. Okay, so I've managed to organise myself a little workshop in the lounge. And now what I'm going to do is basically build the frame for the door here. What I've done is I've taken this piece and I've already cut it to size to fit in here. Yeah, I mean, measurements wise, what I did earlier is I actually held the door in place where I wanted the door to go, and then I just marked on the bottom with a little pencil where this piece should go and where this piece should go, over here like this. And then once I've cut these to size, I'm then going to put the shoulder in across the top. And the way I'm going to do this, I think, is I'm going to etch out a little bit here and here and fit it in that way. And then I'm going to mark where the hinges should go, and then cut the hinges into the door, and then fit the thing to this. Well, I'll fit this in place, and then I'll put the door on with the hinges already marked out and whatnot. I might need to put a strengthener in on this side, I'm not sure yet, but we'll see how it goes. So for now, I'm just going to get on and build this frame, this framework. Let's do it. Seems to be my favourite phrase on these videos. Let's do it. I took the frame off because I need to drill in from the top to secure these in place. So I was thinking about just drilling in from the sides at an angle, but I thought, no, don't be lazy, just don't be lazy. So I took it off, and I'm going to do it this way. What I'm actually doing here is now fitting the door stoppers. So this is a 30mm square piece of wood which goes all the way down the side of the doors and over the top, and this will actually stop the door from going too far in when you close it. Way. Now here what I'm actually doing is I'm putting the door into position. I'm lying it down onto the stoppers, which is kind of like what it would be like when the door is closed when it's upright in position. And this way I can actually measure where the hinges should be. So the actual standard measurement for hinges is that from the top of the door it should be 6 inches down, and then the bottom of the door, which is the one I'm measuring now, should be 9 inches up. And then the middle one is actually in the middle of the two. Now, apparently the only reason why that is, why there's a difference between the top and the bottom, is apparently it's just for visual reasons. Because when you're standing, the hinges look equally distant when you're standing up, which is why you get like a 6 at the top and a 9 at the bottom. This area will be the shoulder of the door. So I'm going to need to chip out those little bits on the end, and then that'll make the shoulder. Don't ask me why. It's just a carpentry thing I found on the internet, that you got to chop these shoulders for the top frame of the door. I think it's just to offer it support. And there I was just measuring out the hinges where they should actually go. Hopefully it's correct. Here I'm actually chipping out the grooves that are needed to fit the shoulder pieces together. You'll see how it all comes together a bit later on. And there you can see how it fits in, like a glove. And here I'm chopping out the next little groove. And then slotting in the other part of the shoulder. Gluing it together there with a bit of Gorilla Glue. But then screwing it in for permanency. But then I realised I've screwed it all together. I've screwed it all together without actually marking out where the hinges should go. So I've had to take it off again and then measure out the spaces for the hinges. So if you're doing this, make sure that before you fit the final part of the door frame, mark out your hinges. And now the laborious task, believe me, of chipping out these things. If you had a router, you could do this pretty quickly, but I don't. So I did this the good old manual way. Pretty fucking spot on. Now, unfortunately, when I was recording this, the TV went on, so you might hear a little bit of background TV noise. But you know, that's the fun of working at home, right? I am in the lounge after all. Good, so here it is, that's what it looks like. And now I'm just putting the exterior frame around it. And I'll bolt all that together. And then I'm going to jump ahead a little bit and just fit it into the door frame of the booth. Hopefully this is lined up with the same hole. Looks good. Good, so that's in place. Now I've had to take the hinges off the frame and put them onto the door because now it's time to chip out the bit of wood there for the door hinges. Another laborious task, and you want to get this right. Okay.
Today was 18 degrees.
Okay then, so here is the moment of truth. I'm going to put the door on. I've got the frame in position. I've got my hinges on the door. I've chiseled out my hinge places. So now, let's put the door on. Fingers crossed. Actually, don't know how I'm going to do this. Quite high. What the hell? Oh my god. What? How is that so far out? Upside down. Okay. Oh no. Now these ones, yeah, that's the bottom, that's right. That one should be 6 inches as well. What's going on here? Fucked up somewhere. Can't believe it. There's a fucking heavy door. Oh, great. Idiot. Fucking hell. Why would I do stuff like that? This hinge is supposed to be up here. I've got it clearly marked there and there. So for some reason I put it there and there. Oh, fuck's sake. Fuck! Let's see if the other ones match up. All out. Well, the bottom one's okay, but then the middle one's out, and the top one's definitely out. How depressing. So you can see the bottom one, you can't even get it out now. There we go. Once that's lifted up, that'll be okay. For some reason this one's out and that one's out because I was fucking drunk or something. But I don't know why this middle one's out because I marked it. Hang on a minute. That's the centre line there, but I put it in the middle. I don't know. Did something stupid in my measurements. So I've got to extend. Whoop. I now have to extend this one and bring it up to here, and then this one I've got to bring up to there. But not tonight, Josephine. I think I'm going to tidy up, put everything away, have a little cherry brandy, and then go to sleep. Because that's pissed me off. I had it laid down on the floor. I thought it was all measured out perfectly. I've just spent ages chopping these out, and then I realised that I've done some stupid errors there. So now that's going to take me another evening. I wanted to get it finished tonight, door on, fucking done. But now I've got to do this shite. Anyway, that's what happens, isn't it? When you're doing it for the first time ever in your life and your only guidance is the internet and your own self-consciousness or whatever. Yeah, okay, fine. So that's what I've got to do tomorrow. So yeah, I'm going to tidy up and not get horribly drunk, but just have a little tipple because that's very annoying. And I also need to figure out then a way of actually lifting this thing on. Alright then, cool, so that's it for today. I hope you've learnt a lot of useful things, and whatever you do, don't copy me, okay? But you get the idea of what's needed. Good, alright, good night, and I'll catch you next time.